Alright, welcome back. Now last video we talked about introduction to Excel, how to open a new workbook, opening an existing workbook, what worksheets are. Then we also looked at how to move worksheets and how to rename worksheets. Then we looked at how to identify columns and rows. So I gave you a shortcut that I say column, I call it column letters and row numbers. So this number section is the row, while this letter section is the column. Then we talked about cell referencing. We talked about how to look at active cell, just like you can see A5 at this top here. Then we looked at Excel controls, how to enable and disable. Then we looked at some of these controls. I realized that in my last video some pop-up were not showing, so this is it. It was my record mode in the previous video, so I hope that is taken, and that's one of the reasons why I had to record all of the videos again, so that I can carry you as along as possible as I can. Alright, so we looked at dragging and copying cells. Look at dragging and copying cells. We looked at how to autofill data. We started with the basics of formula. We looked at the average, minimum, maximum number, how to count, the median, and the auto sum in this area, and more functions. So let me just quickly go over that again, so you can type your max here, and to show you max you can type mean here. To show you mean you can type count here, and to show you count. So for this video we would be looking at data quality. Alright, okay, so we'll be looking at data quality. Now we'll be starting with the traits of good data. So what are the traits of good data? We have 5 traits of good data, and then I gave it an acronym. So I call it the ACRRT. The ACRRT. So I think I should put that in bracket. Put that in bracket. These are the 5 qualities of data. The A stands for accuracy. The C stands for completeness. The first R stands for reliability. Reliable. Alright. Then second R stands for relevance. Relevance. While the T stands for timeliness. Alright, so I'll go over how to add color again in the last video, just in case we missed out something. So we will use this fill color function. So you can click to choose any color of your choice. So I'll be using this color for the traits of good data, and I will use different colors for my data traits. Your data must be accurate. Your data must be complete. Your data must be reliable. Reliable. So I think I should use red. Your data must be relevant. They can't be asking you for the data of people patronizing your company and you are giving age and gender. So your data must be timely, because this helps to for the senior management or the management to make an inference on time, make a timely to make a timely conclusion as regards to what the case may be. Alright, so let me just go ahead and tick this as done. Then we'll move into how to import data. So all you just need to do is click on your file. Once you click on file, so oftentimes when you get data from probably your developers or your in-house database analyst or something, it might come in CSV. Maybe it's been downloaded from the website, the company website, or from the app. It might come as CSV and then not as Excel sheet. So once you have that, you can just click on the file button here and click on open. So you can then select whatever you want. So I'll be using the Montgomery Fleet Equipment Inventory from Coursera. So I have it already here, and then I'm going to return this back to default. Alright, I think it's on its default. Okay. Alright, so this is what I have. So this is a CSV file that is being given to you. I think it's not so default like that. At some point we have some spaces. Okay, so let me just make it as crude as possible. Just make it as crude as possible. Now the essence of going through this again is to be sure that we are not missing out anything. Alright, so let me also add white spaces here at the pickup space truck and the safety SUV. So let me just control copy. That's control C. I did control copy. Then I want to go ahead and do control H, which is what find and replace. Put it here. I want my safety to have 2 spaces. Okay, so we'll go over this again. Alright, what else do we have? Okay, fine. Now, let me be sure that I'm following. So let's mark this. I'm following my guideline. Now we start by removing blank data and multiple white spaces or multiple white spaces. Alright, so let's start by checking for blank. You can see blank data. Now if we go over to the introduction to formulas, we talked about, let's say 1, 2, 3, and as basic as this is, if I click on this, can you see that this stopped at 7? So because there is a space here, the formula will not run across the sheet. So imagine you have line 1 to 5,000. That means you have to go over, your formula will keep stopping at every encounter with a blank line or a blank space or an empty. So one of the first thing you do when you get your data is you make sure all of these are out. Now because we have just 64 lines, it's very easy just to right click and delete, right click and delete. But in case where you have 5,000 lines, I bet it won't be funny at all. So we have to devise a strategy to work smart. And so the first thing we'll be doing is, of course, as time goes by, I also introduce a much more simpler approach to do all of this, but let's get the basics. The basics of reading is A, B, C, D. Right, so we'll start from the very basic, then we now begin to look into the advanced method of doing it. Whichever mode you decide to flow with, it's absolutely fine. If you decide to go through the basic mode, it's fine. If you go through the advanced mode, it's actually fine. So let's start. Now if you look at this, you will see this select all. Now be very careful when you are using this select all, because sometimes you might have some data on this section of your sheet. So when you do this, it applies to every section. So you can also use this, but this also goes down to the very last. You understand? So alright, so we'll look at removing blank data. So I want to check, let's assume this is a 5,000 line worksheet. Select this and I go to find and select. So you click on go to special, then you click on blanks. So when you click on blanks, you select OK. Now it shows all the blank spaces that are available. So after you have done go to special, find blanks, you can easily delete the blanks, but that's not a professional approach. So let's go one more time. So you click on sort and filter, then you click on filter. So you see this drop down, just select the one on the first column and deselect all. So you scroll down and select blanks. So this will select the blank spaces alone. So now you can see that 8, 26, 39, 47, 48 and 59 are showing as blue, while the rest is showing as black. So this is to tell you that these are the blank spaces. Let's see, 8, 26, 39. Let's just confirm. 8, 36, 8. Can you see it? 36. 26, 39. Can you see it? Alright, so I'm gonna do that again. Filter. Oops, sorry. So I'll do that at the top. Okay, so that's filter. Then I select, yeah, then I select So okay, let's do that again. Filter. So I deselect all and I select blanks. So now it will show you the blank. So if you have 1000 blank spaces, all you just need to do is highlight from the rows. Be careful not to highlight from any others because this won't carry the rest of the line. So the icon will change to an arrow. So you highlight, then you right click and delete. Okay, so now we have 159, and so on and so forth. So if that is being done, come back to your sort and filter. Come back to the sort and filter. Then you click on, you deselect the filter. Voila, your text is back, or your icon, your worksheet data is back. So once that is being done, that's removing blank data, then we move to multi-white spaces. So we have two options for these multi-white spaces. So let's start from the first. Option, which is to use the Control H. Now that you are going to type this is what you are going to press: the Control button on your keypad, your keyboard. Then you depress the Control, you press and hold, then you tap H. So it brings out this pop-up. So now it says find what, replace with. So now if you want to find, we are looking for the spaces with the places with two empty spaces like this, 1, 2. Then you come and replace it with what? Just one space. Now you click on replace all. So you can see all done, 5 replaces were made. Now if you take a look at this public safety sedan, public safety SUV, let me just undo it one time. Now look at this place. See, I see that this is more than one space. So I'm going to do that again. I want to look for 2 spaces and replace it with just 1. And replace all. Okay. Alternatively, what you can do is you create a new column here just beside it, or you can just choose any place here. Now you use the formula called trim, or the function called trim, as equals to TRIM. Then in bracket, what do you want to trim? I want to trim the content in column B. So I'll select one of the columns, B2. Now then I tap the formula to run it down. So I'm going to run the formula down my entire document. Okay, so now if you look at this public safety SUV and compare it to this public safety SUV, okay, so I'm going to have to do that again. Equals to trim. I'm going to trim. So let me take that again. equals to trim, capital letter, open bracket, then you select the column or you just type it in there, press enter, then you drag the formula. Right, so this copies. Now look at this safety SUV and look at this safety SUV, public safety. You can see the space between the safety and the SUV safety. Can you see something different? Okay, so that's that about that. So what you can now do is just come here, click on this down arrow, right click on it and copy. Now you can come down here and replace. However, there will be a challenge, but let's go. Now you can see the ref. Now this is because in Excel, when you copy an item, it copies with the formula if you find a formula in it. So what you can do in this case is when you copy, you select your paste and you choose paste values only. So let's go ahead and do a right click. You can also use this paste special and click on values. So this will copy only the value of this place and not the formula. So if you look at this, can you see trim B3? But if you look at this, you can see off-road, there is no equals to formula there. So you can go ahead and delete this. Boom. And we are good to go. Okay. All right. So those are the two options. The first option is to use Control H, which is what? Find and replace, or to use the trim function, which is equals to trim, then the text or the column or the location of your text to be trimmed. I hope that's taken. Alright, so let's move on quickly to the next outline. So let's mark this as done. Alright, now let's look at inconsistency in data, looking at uppercase and lowercase. So now I'll give you use cases where you can use this. So for example, you have let me just use let me do this first. So let's assume we want to turn all of this into capital letter. All you can just do is either you create a new column here and you use the formula upper and lower. So let's start with the upper. Let's change all of this to uppercase. So we do upper, then into bracket what you want to change into upper. So we'll click on column B2 and you press enter, change this into, then you run your formula down. So can you see? Now if I delete this, I'm still going to have another challenge. Can you see? href. So what you can do is right click on this, you click on copy. I think I should add the title equipment class so everything will be uniform. Alright, so I right click on this, I copy and I come down to this and I do paste special and I paste what? I paste values. Alright, so now I can go ahead to delete this. Okay, so now don't forget how to enlarge this. Just double click on this, it will expand Alright, now this is how to change. We use what? The upper. Now to change this to lowercase small letter, we use the lower. Lowercase equals to what? We use lower. Uppercase, we use upper. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead to change this into lowercase. So we'll do equals to lower, then bracket. Your function must follow must be followed with an open bracket. Then in the bracket you type in your reference. So this is my reference B2, in B1, change it to small letter, then I can drag the formula, just copy the formula for me, and I'll be fine. Yep. So you can just go ahead and copy this, right click, copy. You can even cut if you wish. So cut will remove it entirely, and come over here, right click. So now the challenge with cut is that it will copy with the formula. So you have to know when to use cut and when to use paste special. So I'll go ahead and just copy, then you come here, I paste special, and I go to paste values. So let me just go ahead to copy this again. Yeah, copy, paste special, then I paste values. So I can go ahead to delete this. So let me remove this. Okay. Alright, so that's been said that done. So now let's check a use case. So common use case is that maybe from the database provided, you have maybe first name of your customer as David and the surname as maybe Taiwo. Now you can see that this is not consistent, uppercase, lowercase, or in the event that maybe the person typed while filling the form, because it's garbage in, garbage out. Whatever info is being imputed in the form, that is what you have. So let's say assume you have small letter D, capital letter A, small letter V, capital letter I, small letter D, or you have capital letter A, T, capital letter A, small letter I, capital letter W, small letter O. Right, so but you can't present this to your boss, or this is not really presentable. So imagine having a couple of this. It can be annoying at times. So what you can do is, if you are being asked for this, just need to do is just come over and type another first name as you wish, surname. Don't forget to expand your column, expand, then you use the formula equals to upper. Let's assume we're using the uppercase, then you click on this, and so you have everything in uppercase. So you can just copy your formula, and let's assume this is lowercase, so we use equals lower, open bracket, select what we want as lower, close the bracket, press your enter, then you copy the formula. So there are some times that you have everything capital letter and you just want it as this. Alright, so another use case that we'll look at is, let's click this, let's mark this as done, is how to use the flash fill to combine names. How to use the flash fill to combine names. So the flash fill is also in two ways. I'm going to do the two ways. So in the event that so just note all of these skills. Now I have first name and I have surname. Okay, so my first name is David, my surname is Taiwo. So let me just copy this, or let me just do Taiwo and David. So let me just do boy, girl, girl, boy, male, female, female, and male. Now I want this as just full name. Your boss just wants the full name. He doesn't want these two sheets stuff. He just wants to have it in a column, not two columns like this. So what you can do is use the flash fill. The first way is to come over to your data. Now you type it as you want it. Now you can type David all in capital letter and type David Taiwo. Then come to the second line, type 3 text out of it. Should automatically give you, okay, so mine is not giving me at the moment, so I'll just skip that for now and still try it a few times before the end of the video. Okay, so let me go ahead and delete this. So let me type David Taiwo as capital letter, then I'll use the flash fill. I'll use the flash fill to use the flash fill. Enter a couple of examples and the output you would like to see. Keep the active cell in the column that you want filled in and click flash fill. Alright, so I'm going to have to do that again. So I did David Taiwo and I want to do Taiwo. So what I did, it worked. That's by typing the first 3 letters of the first 3 letters of the text. Okay, so now I did capital letter all through, so you can also see the icon of the flash fill. Okay, so now let me just do the small letter. Okay, there's something about flash fill. When you are using flash fill, you have to avoid mistakes as much as you can. So that was why it didn't work the first time. So let me use small letter all through David Taiwo. You see, the moment I typed the first 3 letters, it also did this for me. Now I can also see I want it alternated. I want the first 2 letters capital letter, the last word as small letter. The moment I type in follow, can you see? Oh, I think this didn't follow mine. I wasn't following what I was saying. Okay, so I'm going to do this again. So we want the first 2 David. It's auto correcting. Now I see. Let's try 3 letters. David. Okay, good. Taiwo. Now can you see it? So I do type so can you see? Now it's adding ID. Can you see DAVID TAITAIID BOYID GIRID MALID. You understand? So it just follows the format that you give into it. Alright, so I've given you one of the use case. I'm going to go ahead. I hope this is clear enough. So you can use flash fill. Now let me use this flash fill for another use case. If you look at this column, you will see board of electrons van. Now this is supposed to be one word, not into two columns. So I'm going to create a new line and type, I'm going to call this my I think this has been combined already. Board of elections, van, equipment class, circuit. Okay, so before, I thought I made this a raw data. So before, what this was just it was something like this. Let me try. So this board of electrons was board, then electrons was actually here. So I'm going to send you so this was maybe probably board of, then electrons was on the, let me copy this and just try to return it back to what it was. This was cluster was here, I guess. So let's just assume this is what we have. We have engagement. This wasn't here. Engagement, cluster. I hope you understand what I'm trying to do. So let's assume public facilities was not there. Public facility was here. And then correction and rehabilitation. Rehabilitation was somewhere. Let's just assume this is what it is. I'm going to highlight this too to replace the whole of this. Alright. We still have a long way to go. Okay, let me do fire and rescue. Fire. So let's do rescue here. And let's remove rescue from here. So I'm going to have to highlight both. Okay, almost done. Let's put services here. Just trying to make the data more realistic. Okay, health and human, let's put human services here. So let's remove this. make it this. So I'm going to have to make this yes. So but we have some places with blank and this is not supposed to be, so I'll just quickly type office so that our formula can run one time. And this is economic development. So a whole lot of work, but we just have to make it as real as possible. I have to make this as real as possible, so I'll use protection here. Protection, and remove this. So that the formula won't break in the middle. Finance, let's just put finance department. Oh, finance, you can leave it finance development. Consumer protection, going to have to type protection here and remove the protection from consumer. Ooh. Cut. All right. Okay, I think this is better. Yeah. Department. So all right. So now this is not supposed to be. Can you see it? So let's create a new column here and call this place department. Now let's instruct Excel what we want. We want board one board of electrons. Now board of electrons, this is easy. Want circuit. So as I just typed, and the first three, now you can see there are some errors in this place, which is I can see county executive office. Okay, this is nice. Okay, I know why. Okay, I know why. So for the second one, okay, so let's take this again. Yep, so we have board of electrons, we have board of electrons, then we have circuit code. So now I typed them in correctly, so the flash fill came by itself. Now let's try to use the flash fill button. So I'm going to have to type this again, board of electrons, board of electrons. Now this, I click the flash fill and this also came. Now the reason why I'm having an error here is, so in flash fill, whatever you type, so when I typed board and the suggestion came and I pressed enter, so it assumed I only typed BOARD, which is the same count as CIRCUT. Understand? So when you are using flash fill, please kindly type in full. So you don't have errors. Okay, so I'm going to have to type BOARD of electrons. Then I move to the next line, BOARD of electrons. Then I can now use my flash fill. Okay, so let's take that one more time. Let's use circuit code and use, yeah, okay, all right. So if that is taken, so you can now go ahead and delete the other two columns. Okay, so now that we have this as one, so you can go ahead to delete this. All right, good. So we can make this look more presentable. Okay, this is our heading, this is our header. Can remove this since I do not need it. Now I enlarge this. Alright, so department is community board of electrons. So I'll provide you with the real data, but you just have to try. This is just for you to understand the concept and familiarize you with what you will be seeing. Alright, so let's move to the next. I've done flash fill. So next we use text to column to split names. Now how do we do text to column? Now you have, let's assume this board of electrons, you want to split it into column A, column B and C, or column A and B. So instead of having just board of electrons, you want it to be board of electron here. So let me just split it into E, F, G. You are splitting board of electrons. So you click on the text, you go to your data and you click on text to columns. So once you click on text to columns, so it tells you, it asks you, how is your data, how can you describe the characters in your data? So for this we have is delimited, and this you will see the contents of, or what makes up the, or what we call delimiters. Now it's either by tab or semicolon or comma or space. Now for this text, what can you see? This is space. So I'll select my space and I remove the tab. So now can you see it has broken it into board of electron, column 1, column 2, column 3. Then you can choose the location where you want your text to come into. So I want it to start from E. So my destination is not going to be A2, now it's going to be E2. So when I select E2, I click on finish. See board of electrons. You understand? So in situations whereby some in your form or in the company's website or your data, someone type his name as David Taiwo or Taiwo David or boy girl or girl boy, and you want to split this into 2 or 3. So what you need to do is to, so let's even assume you have human, animal and object. So what you need to do is click on text to column. So we choose our data is delimited, next, by space, next, choose your destination. If you choose E, so it's going to replace the current content of this E. So let's try it. Click on finish. Can you see it? David Taiwo. Can you see? So you can do the same. So what about if you select the whole data? Click on text to column. So can you see it? Select. I'm using space. Can you see it? So easy. Start taking. Alright. I think I don't need to go over that again. You can just rewind, pause, or slow down the video. So I can go ahead to delete this. So you can use this to split your document. And finally, I talked about this already. That's the copy and pasting option. So that was where I talked about you pasting a special, paste. You see this down arrow, it gives you the option, paste options. So use the paste special. So because I have not copied anything at the moment, so let me just go ahead and copy this. So you see, you can explore the options. Now let me just quickly do this. I put color here and I copy this. So you can copy this and paste it here to have exact replica of this. You can also decide to say, okay, I'm copying this, but I don't want that color. I only want to paste the what did I press? I just want to paste. So these are the options available. I just want to paste formulas. You can see the color has gone. I want to paste formula and formatting. I want to keep source formatting. I want to paste without borders. I want to keep the source column and all of that. Okay, so thank you for your time and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, bye.